Hey guys, can you see me okay? There's like a light smear right through my face. Anyway, hi. I was not planning on doing this as a car vlog, but I just haven't really seemed to be able to find the time to film a proper video in my house on my actual camera. So this is what you get, because some people were kindly asking me for an update on my health stuff. So I'm going to give you one. I am now driving home from work after a long day. I did have doctor appointment this morning, and I've got another one tomorrow afternoon. It's hard to remember where I left off, you know, what I told you and what I didn't tell you, and there really isn't any great updates. But anyway, we'll start with the throat thing, the weird throat thing. I finally saw the ENT, which is ear, nose, throat doctor. I saw him on Friday. It is now Tuesday. It is Tuesday. Wow. Is it Tuesday? It's Tuesday. Okay. So, I saw him on Friday. You know, he couldn't do much, really. Just sort of took a verbal account of my symptoms, and you know, he sort of agreed with me that it's likely either a dislocated or partially dislocated hyoid bone, or there's something wrong with the thyroid cartilage, which, if you remember, excuse me, is pretty much two things that I thought that it was. So that's good that that's also what he thinks it is. He said he's never really seen anybody with those problems. And there is a surgery as well if it needs to come to that, but he's never done the surgery. So the next step is I have to go for a CAT scan. They're going to do a CAT scan of my neck and see if they can see anything weird. I think that if it's the hyoid bone thing, if it's the thyroid cartilage, they may be able to see it, because there may be sort of a sprig that has kind of come apart from the cartilage, and you'd be able to see that. However, if it's the hyoid bone, you know, it's only moving when sorry, I'll be out of the sun in a second. It's only moving when I swallow, you know, when I engage that area, you know, that's when I can feel something moving and there's a pain. But all of the tests that we've done, you know, x-rays and ultrasound and things, you're only seeing, you know, a stagnant picture. You know, it's just a snapshot. It's not moving. So CAT scan will be the same thing, unfortunately. So even if when resting, the hyoid bone is fine and looks like it's in place, you know, what are they going to do then? I don't know. Because we won't be able to really tell if there's anything wrong with it, because we can't capture it in motion. But either way, if it's one or the other of those things, chances are it's just one of those leave it alone things, and eventually it'll heal. So I'm not too worried. I was really more concerned about just doing repetitive damage. You know, if there's a bone loose, or cartilage flipping around in there. Like, it could be repeatedly scratching on something, and I could create a tear or a hernia or who knows, and I don't want that. So that's my goal, is just to make sure that whatever it is, even if we can't figure out exactly what it is, if we can figure out that it is or is not doing any damage to the other neck components, then I'll be pleased. So that's the neck thing. So no CAT scan yet. They haven't scheduled it yet, but that will be soon. And so today I had to follow up with my regular doctor to see how the prednisone treatment has been going. So she put me on 2 weeks of high dose of prednisone, which is a steroid, and it is not enjoyable, I'll tell you that. If you ever want to see a really fun list, just Google side effects of prednisone. It's really long and intense. I do not enjoy it, but I will say the prednisone, basically it works by completely shutting down your immune system. So like in my case, that flare-up that I was having was just so much inflammation. Like my body was going into hyperdrive, sending inflammation around the body, and inflammation is, a response from your immune system. So, when you get scratched and that area swells up, it's because your immune system is like, oh, we need to send, all this good blood there to help heal. So, so the prednisone is to basically stop all of that inflammation in my body, and the only way to stop the inflammation is by convincing the body that, it doesn't need any inflammation. So it just shuts down the immune system. So I've been taking that for 2 weeks, and by the third or fourth day, the inflammation was way down. Like that week before, when it started really flaring up, I could not walk. Like I could barely walk. I couldn't put any weight on either of my knees, and I couldn't lift my arms up to the side at all, and I could not bend my fingers or my toes or my wrists without like an extreme amount of pain. So by the third or fourth day on the prednisone, that all was getting remarkably better. So my knees were 80% better. I can walk again. I can even go up and down the stairs, which I could not do last week. And my arms are fine. My fingers and toes are still in a lot of pain, but the bearable kind, because I can function. Sorry, got an itch, So long story short, the prednisone seems to be helping. I don't know if it's the prednisone or if it's just time. Maybe whatever this thing is that's flaring up, maybe it flares up for a week and then it starts to get better. I don't know. I have to assume it's the prednisone because it's just so intense that like it better work. But yeah, so anyway, it's working. But now it's time to wean off of the prednisone. So to wean off, it's like 3 or 4 weeks. I have to get a new prescription prescription for a lesser dosage, and then I take the lesser dosage 3 times a day for a week, and then 2 times a day for another week, and then 1 time a day for the next week, until I've tapered off. However, if my symptoms flare right back up, then I may need to stay on the prednisone until I can see the rheumatologist and get a diagnosis and some other treatment going. I really, really, really hope that's not the case. I just don't want to stay on the prednisone. Yes, it's better than the pain for sure, but for myself, the symptoms or the side effects, it's been, I can't sleep. If I do sleep, it's like all crazy dreams, and I feel no restfulness when I wake up, and I get an extreme headache if I change positions. So if I'm sitting on the couch and I lay down, I get a killer headache. If I lay down and then I sit up, if I sit and then I stand, if I stand and then I sit, basically anytime my body changes positions, changes planes, I get a killer headache, and I get very dizzy, and it affects my food and my diet. I think I'm up like 5 pounds, and they say that you gain a lot of weight on the prednisone because it supposedly makes you very hungry. I have sort of the opposite. I feel less hungry. My stomach just sort of feels heavy, like there's just lead sitting in it. But if my stomach is empty, I feel very ill. I feel nauseous. I feel that same heavy feeling. And the pill itself can sort of eat its way through your stomach lining if you don't have food in there. So it's like making me eat more so that my stomach always has like a little bit in it. Even though I'm not really that hungry. So it's fine in the long run. Honestly, having to lose another 5 pounds is like nothing on top of what I'm already trying to do. But it's going to be another month of this, and if not more. Anyway, enough about the prednisone. I am going to tell you about the rheumatologist, which sorry, I'm just waiting for this light to change. So last I told you, my rheumatology appointment is not until January, which is 6 months from now, and that's not cool. But I called around and did what I could, and I couldn't get anything sooner. So while I was visiting my regular doctor today, she told me that she had another patient who was going through a similar thing. He needed to see a rheumatologist. He can't get in until next year, and that he had better luck when he tried this other hospital system. So it's a system that I'm not that familiar with. It doesn't have as good a reputation as the one that I currently use, but if they can get me in, they can get me in. So I called, and I'm at the grocery store now, so I'm gonna go in a minute, but at least I can talk to you for a second. So I called this other hospital, and they can take me September 27th. So that is still kind of far away, but it's way, way, way better than waiting until January. So I'm gonna just, keep the January one, and if I don't like this lady, or if something happens, then I'll still have that lined up. But otherwise, yeah, it's gonna be fine. So I'm glad I got a sooner appointment. I'm relieved about that. So now I just, I just keep waiting, and then that's it. So I know that was really boring. That was way more in depth of an update than you were really looking for. Overall, I am doing okay. I feel much better than I have been, even though I'm like exhausted and like I don't feel well. But I can function. I can go to work now, and I can, wash a dish at my house and let the dogs out and do all the stuff that I need to do on a normal basis. So I feel a lot better about that. Mentally, I feel terrible because my work BFF, Jessica, if you're watching this, I'm very upset because she is leaving our office, and we have worked together for just about 10 years, and she's the best. She's like the best. And I'm really gonna miss not seeing her every day. It's not, I know I didn't say that right. I'm gonna miss seeing her every day. I'm sure you knew what I meant. Anyway, it bums me out, and tomorrow is her last day forever. So, if you watch this video, and if you made it all the way to this 17 minutes, I want you to leave a comment saying something very rude about Jessica, because she deserves to feel as hurt as I feel right now. I love you, Jess. You know that. Okay, I gotta go now. So,